Good evening. Thank you, Mr. Montry, for inviting me here today. I want to share something before I pray. About 20 plus years ago, I had a chance to work at a Christian school. I was a part-time employee. The school was housed at a church. It was kindergarten through sixth grade. We had about 160 students. And every year we would have grandparents stay. And because I was the only grandparent in the personnel department there, I got to lead the assembly. One of the assemblies, I asked this question: how do you know you have value as a person? As soon as I said that, a hand went up in the audience. And then other hands started going up. I said to the person, I said, okay, since you're the first person, tell me why you have value as a person. Their response was in 5 words: value. So that's the foundation of my prayer tonight, that we consider ourselves valuable because of the blood of Christ, and that each one of us is precious in his sight, and we ought to treat each other with respect. That's what Easter's about. That's what Christmas is about. That's what the second coming of Christ is going to be about, because he's going to come back for a bride without spot or wrinkle. And I hope you're a part of that bride. Let's come to the Lord in prayer today. Father, I thank you that you demonstrated your love for us, that while we were yet sinners, your Son Jesus Christ died for us. You put value on us, Lord, not by silver and gold or precious things, but by the blood of your one and only Son. There's no greater gift than the gift of salvation that comes through him. But it only affects those who accept that gift. And I pray, Lord, today that there'll be a mighty outpouring of your Holy Spirit in these last days, that people would come to know the saving knowledge of Jesus Christ, that we become innocent in our thinking, like that little 6-year-old girl who figured out that she had value because of the blood of your Son and the sacrifice that he made at Calvary 2,000 plus years ago. As we celebrate Easter or Resurrection Sunday, this coming 20th of April, I pray, O Lord, that we get a different vision of who we are in relationship to you, that you care about us, that you love us, that you hope that not one person should perish. And I pray, Lord, that you just open our hearts, turn our hearts of stone into hearts of flesh. Open our eyes and open our ears, Lord, that we might hear the good news of Jesus Christ. And I ask this in your precious name, Lord Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Mr. Tisdale.
Al, real quick before we get going here, does every single other person in here get their own private public time like Mr. Tisdale just did? It was supposed to be a prayer and he went off on a tangent. So he got his own private comment time. If should be open to everyone else.
Good comment. Next that we have on there, approval of the agenda. I need a motion.
I'll make the motion to approve tonight's agenda.
Do I have a second?
Second. Support.
Please take the roll.
Mr. Gore?
Aye.
Mr. Bruning?
Aye.
Mr. Montry?
Aye.
Ms. Janusik?
Aye.
Mr. Stump?
Aye.
Hirschberger votes aye. Mr. Pryor?
Aye. Motion carries. Consent agenda. Agenda Committee recommends to approve and place in file minutes from the March 18th, 2025 regular meeting of the Bedford Township Board. Do I have a motion?
Make the motion to approve the consent agenda.
Support.
Discussion? Please take the roll.
Mr. Gore?
Aye.
Mr. Bruning?
Aye.
Ms. Janusik?
Aye.
Mr. Stump?
Aye.
Mr. Montry?
Aye.
Hirschberger votes aye. Mr. Pryor?
Aye. Motion carries. Public comment. Comments limited to 5 minutes for board agenda items only. Please state which agenda item you will be speaking on.
Gail Kane, Temperance. Thank you, Todd. I'm here to speak mostly about 8C. And the reason I'm bringing this up is that I was part of the organization that revitalized a farmer's market within Bedford Township. And I have no opposition against the farmer's market. And we have learned by going to the DDA meetings that the people in the DDA want to also set up a farmer's market. As I read through the packet, however, I became concerned because we don't get full discussion, we don't get full disclosure of what's going on with that farmer's market. The church is the one that's requesting the BZA fee waiver. And my question would be, does the farmer's market pay a rental fee to use the church parking lot? And from what I read in the packet, it's gone to 2 days, not just one. They've extended their sale time, so to speak, that they're open, and that's appropriate. It's Michigan. You know, we have pumpkins that come in October. So it's not an opposition to the practice at all. The opposition comes from, where is the money going that the farmer's market collects? They do charge their vendors a fee. So that takes away from the actual practice of the vendors making money when they take their items to the market, so to speak. I realize they do minimal advertising, and I think the market manager does get paid. I could be wrong. We don't get any of these answers to the questions that the board should be asking for this. The Methodist Church has an advantage. They get to sell their wares, so to speak, by having this farmer's market on their site. I just believe there's a whole lot of questions that need to be answered before you waive this, because the church may deserve the waiver because they're hiding, or I should say the farmer's market is hiding under the auspices of a church, whereas the farmer's market could give the church the money to pay for that fee. And granted, there's traffic, there is residents that are next door. There's a bigger picture here, folks, and if we keep doing this, it's going to continue on, and I do believe they should have their waiver on a yearly basis. I saw that back in 23 they were allowed a 2-year term. You lose your control when you give that type of latitude. You don't know what's going on. And like I said, I have nothing against the farmer's market, because we reinstituted it in downtown Temperance back in the day. The other thing, I'm happy to say that as far as the Housing Commission, I have no problems with Mr. Welch, but is he there as the township representative? For over 8 years, that Housing Commission lacked their board rep, and we seem to have changed our attitude. Some boards get a rep, some don't. There's not been any full disclosure on that. So Mr. Welch, although he's a fantastic person, the question remains, is he there as the deputy supervisor, which would make him a board rep, or is he there as just a regular citizen? And as far as the new Teamsters contract for the maintenance people, that's great. It's fantastic. It's well overdue. I have concerns as to why there was such a delay, and I certainly hope now that you all have got your wages settled, and now this union, that we address the fire department for the safety and the well-being of this township. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Any others? Seeing no others. 8A, vouchers for payment.
I'd like to make a motion that the following vouchers be approved for payment. General Fund, $52,858.20. Fire Fund, $23,887.51. Fire Equipment, $1,387.98. Downtown Development, $14,954.42. Library, $5,867.42. Road Capital Improvements, $247,748.72. Building Department, $1,393.71. Sewer O&M, $3,270.99. Trust and Agency, $4,646.82. Special Assessment Debt, $42,543.74, for a grand total of $398,559.51.
Support.
Any discussion? Please take the roll.
Hirschberger votes aye. Ms. Janusik?
Aye.
Mr. Montroy?
Aye.
Mr. Gore?
Aye.
Mr. Bruning?
Aye.
Mr. Stump?
Aye.
Mr. Pryor?
Aye. Motion carries. Going to 8B, rezoning request from Fire Creek Real Estate LLC, Bryce Benkowski, 9410 Village Meadows Drive, Temperance, Michigan, 48182, requesting to rezone from R3/LVOD, single-family residential located within the Lambertville Village Overlay District, to RT LVOD, two-family residential located within the Lambertville Village Overlay District on parcel number 58-020-019-126-00, located on the west side of Secor Road, north of Dean Road, otherwise known as 8207 Secor Road, Lambertville, Michigan, 48144. I'll defer this to you, Mr. Montre.
Yeah, this one's another pretty straightforward one in my opinion. We had unanimous vote in favor. The plot is single-family residential. They're gonna plan is to demolish that, build the unit there, and make it a two-family residential. To basically corresponds with the rest of the row from the builder, from the south side of that property. But yeah, pretty straightforward. I don't know if there's any questions. Any questions for me or questions for the applicant?
This is basically just doing what they've done right there at the corner already, correct?
More or less.
Yeah.
That was the plan all along, if I believe from BZA meetings.
Yeah, go ahead.
I believe, Mr. Bankowski, you were, even when you came to the BZA for variance on the first set, that was your plan all along, was to put something on that backside, correct?
This one is for a different property.
Different property.
It's the house.
The house,
correct?
the house.
Right.
Died.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, so, yeah, this one's a separate one. I just purchased the house. Plan is to tear that down and put another matching duplex there.
It'll look a lot better than having that house there.
Looks good now, over there in that corner.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Any other thoughts, comments? We have a motion?
I can make the motion. All right. Motion to recommend. I'm just going to read it. To approve the request from Fire Creek Real Estate LLC, request to rezone from R3 LVOD, single-family residential, located within the Lambertville Village Overlay District, to RT LVOD, two-family residential, located within the Lambertville Village Overlay District on parcel number 58-02-019-126-00, located on the west side of Secor Road, north of Dean Road, otherwise known as 8207 Secor Road, Lambertville, Michigan 48144, due to the fact that the rezoning is consistent with the master plan's goals, policies, and future land use designation for Village Center. The RT zoning provides an appropriate transition between single-family residential areas and commercial uses. The rezoning is consistent with existing land use patterns and development trends. The site is served by adequate public utilities and road infrastructure, and the property can accommodate a two-family dwelling, and there is sufficient space for buffering to mitigate potential impacts from surrounding uses.
Support.
Any further discussion? Please take the roll.
Mr. Montre?
Aye.
Mr. Gore?
Aye.
Mr. Bruning?
Aye.
Mr. Stump?
Aye.
Ms. Janusik?
Aye.
Hirschberger votes aye. Mr. Pryor?
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Number 8D, request to approve the attorney hourly rate be decreased from Leonard and Graham. Oh, I'm sorry. C? Oh, did we miss C? Oh, that was the church. Sorry about that. I was getting to my April Fool's thing. Now it's okay. We'll get you, Phil. Number C, request from Lambertville United Methodist Church to the Bedford Township Board to waive the Board of Zoning Appeals fee.
Hi, everyone. My name is Bob Potter, 1518 West Temperance Road, Temperance, Michigan. I'm here representing both the Bedford Farmers Market and the Lambertville United Methodist Church on this request. Currently, there's no zoning ordinance that allows for a farmers market on any property here in the township. So that requires the market to go before the Board of Zoning Appeals every couple of years to request the temporary use of the farmers market on the church property. We've been located there for either 8 or 10 years. It's been quite a while, and we've always come to the board to request a variance of the, or not variance, but elimination of the fee for the application. Now it's $375 for the BZA application. That would allow us, as in previous years, to set up a farmer's market from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. every Saturday, middle of May through the end of October. And there's always a possibility, if there's enough interest in the market vendors, to also include Wednesday evening. We haven't done that for several years, but we leave it on the application just in case the vendors are interested in it. I'm here to request the board waive that BZA application fee of $375. I'm glad Gail Keene mentioned the dollar amounts and where the money goes. It's true we do collect a fee, a rental fee from each vendor that comes to the market, and the monies collected pay the market manager. We have a market manager that works, we pay her April through October, basically to set the market up, to make sure the advertisement is going on, the social media accounts are all filled up with information, newsletter comes out every week. She takes care of locating all of us and keeping us all in under some level of control and in the right location. So that amount of money. We also pay liability insurance to cover ourselves and the church. We pay the internet, the website. We have to pay, I don't know, $250 or so, $300 maybe every year to maintain our website. We do pay for advertising, and then basically whatever's left over at the end, we give as a donation to the church. They're not charging us anything to use the property, but we do donate whatever's left, minus maybe $100 or so, just to have something in our account, but as appreciation for them letting us use their property. The only people that have some kind of product or service that we don't ask to pay are, well, of course, the church. Sometimes they'll set up a free coffee table or hand out leaflets or something like that, and we're not about to charge them. And also, if a school group, the Cub Scouts, or somebody want to come to hand out information about theirs. But if it's somebody making a product to sell, then we do charge them. I have some background information, more background information if you want me to go through it, or if you just want some questions, if you have questions to answer.
One quick question.
Yes.
You guys are a nonprofit, the Bedford Farmers Market?
We're not officially a nonprofit.
Okay.
We tried that several years ago, and we found out that we're not, because of however we're set up, we cannot get a nonprofit designation. But our market manager is working with the Veterans Center in Bedford for some kind of nonprofit designation, because we have a food assistance program in cooperation with the Veterans Center, and the donations that we receive are to fund that are somewhat limited because the people donating can't write it off on their taxes. So if we had this nonprofit designation, they would be able to.
Gotcha.
So, but we're not officially a nonprofit.
Understood.
We don't operate as a profit. The only person that gets any money out of it is a market manager, and I think that's well worth what she's been able to do for us.
Okay. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Yeah, Phil, go ahead with the fee.
You are set up as a domestic LLC, though, aren't you?
No.
Farmers Market?
No.
How are you?
We looked into that a number of years ago, and there wasn't any interest to pursue it. It's too much red tape.
Okay. But you've been able to purchase and maintain liability insurance?
Yes.
And who is the insured on that insurance?
Well, the farmers market and the church.
Okay.
And it's through Hyatt Insurance in Lambertville.
Okay. All right.
But there is a tax ID number, but it doesn't identify us as a nonprofit.
Okay. How does your tax ID identify you? What kind of organization?
I don't know.
Okay. All right.
I haven't looked at it in years.
My main concern is that you're insured for liability, and that the insurance is insured for liability because you have people coming on the premises doing business with. So that's my main concern.
Yeah, the insurance, the liability insurance covers us as a group, and also the church as the location where we sit. Each one of the vendors is told they must carry their own liability insurance as well, but we don't check to see if they do or not.
I would suggest that you might, in your application to your vendors, because you're requiring that you require your vendors to provide to you proof of liability insurance. If you're requiring it, you need to go behind it and check to make sure that's being provided. That's for the benefit largely of the church and also the farmers market, although I guess you're not organized as a entity recognized by the state of Michigan. So, and just so the board is aware, the reason that the applicant is the church is they have to be because they're the landowner, and so they have to apply. They have to be the applicant, and our zoning ordinance allows the BZA to provide them with a 2-year approval to operate there at the church property. And the BZA has done that, provided that the church, who is the applicant to the BZA, and the farmers market don't change the manner or the method or the way that they conduct business there on Saturdays. In other words, the Planning Commission has reviewed a site plan. The Board of Zoning Appeals has reviewed a site plan, how they operate. When we started this, we required them to coordinate with local law enforcement, our sheriff's department, to notify MCA that they're operating this Monroe Community Ambulance, that they're operating this farmers market, and the Bedford Fire Department, just so they know that there might be increased traffic activity and pedestrian activity on those Saturdays that the market is open, so that there's some coordination of effort in the event of an emergency. So the BZA has, in the past, allowed them to, provided permission for 2 years, provided that their site plan doesn't change and their method of operation doesn't change. And so, of course, this board has the authority to waive the fee, again, because the church is the applicant. And Mr. Potter has, I think, given a good explanation regarding the relationship between the church and the farmers market, and what the money is used for, where it goes, et cetera. Those were valid questions, of course, asked by Ms. Keene, so I think they've been answered. You also, as the board, could provide a waiver for for 2 years if the BZA provides approval for 2 years. You could provide a waiver, so they don't have to come back every time and ask for a waiver for fees, but only if nothing changes. So just the same way the BZA does it. So if they're going to change the way they do business, or they're going to change the footprint of the farmers market at that church, or if they're going to change the location, they should come back. I hope that helps you.
Always does, Phil.
Thank you.
Just to be real clear, on the veterans food side, when we did that last year, the checks were written out to the Bedford Township veterans, so you could get a tax deduction, and then the Veterans Center gave out the vouchers. So.
Oh, okay. So there
Yeah,
was already.
Yeah, because they are a 501c3, so when you donate the money to them, that is a write-off.
Okay, well then I might have heard something improper from our.
So that you can do. Any other discussions, thoughts, comments?
One last thing from me. Bob, I would encourage your folks to consider organizing as an LLC some formal organization recognized by the state of Michigan. I think that's going to help you with your insurability. I think that adds legitimacy to what you're doing. And whoever your attorney is, you may want to discuss that with him or her.
Okay, thank you.
Any other thoughts, comments? Do we have a motion?
I'll make the motion that we approve the request from Lambertville United Methodist Church to waive the boarding zoning appeals fee of $375.
Support.
Any further discussion? The roll.
Mr. Gore?
Aye.
Mr. Bruning?
Aye.
Mr. Montroy?
Aye.
Mr. Stump?
Aye.
Ms. Janusik?
Aye.
Ms. Sugar votes aye. Mr. Pryor?
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Phil, now I'm going to get the D now that I killed my April Fool's joke on you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Request to approve the attorney hourly rate increase from Leonard, Graham, and Goldsmith. Looking to go from $150 to $175. I can tell you is that the fee is still relatively very, very reasonable because a lot of the fees now for this type of work are going for $200 and some an hour.
We value our relationship with the board, and that's why the increase from 150 to 175 only. Most municipal attorneys with our, Tom has 50 years of experience, 50 years as an over 50 years, 40 for me, 39 for Marty. Most law firms that have been doing municipal law services for that period of time, like Al said, they're in excess of $200 an hour. But we enjoy working with this board and working for the township, but it's time to ask for an increase, a modest increase, and that's the reason why.
But tonight's at 150, right?
Pardon me?
Tonight's at 150.
150 until June 1st, if you approve it.
Okay, just checking, Phil. Okay. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion that we approve the rate increase for Leonard, Graham, and Goldsmith for the township attorneys from $150 to $175 an hour.
Support.
Effective discussion?
Effective June 1st.
Accepted.
2025.
Who was the second?
Any further discussion? Please take the roll, Ms. Hirschberger.
Mr. Gore?
Aye.
Mr. Montroy?
Aye.
Ms. Janusik?
Aye.
Mr. Bruning?
Aye.
Mr. Stump?
Aye.
Hirschberger votes aye. Mr. Pryor?
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Good to go. Go spend some of that money at the farmer's market.
All right. I like vegetables.
Okay. F, approval of proposed settlement for the new.
E.
Glad I'm getting my new glasses tomorrow because these are the old ones. So, okay. E, approve amendment to the board and administrative policy 4.8 fund balance. Judy, if you could take that.
So before you have the changes we want to put in the policy, before you know that the last fund balance pretty much just said, we have a fund balance, we can look at it every year. We thought we needed to put a little more teeth into that. We talked about this at the budget meeting to put in classifications, restricted, committed, assigned, on the back unassigned, and reasons to use that fund for emergencies only. Any questions? Then And I'll make a motion that we approve the policy 4.8 fund balance as presented.
Support.
Any discussion? I will make a quick comment, is that I was at an MTA class yesterday, and this was highly recommended as well, to add something like this. So, please take the roll, Ms. Hirschberger.
Hirschberger votes aye. Ms. Janasek?
Aye.
Mr. Gore?
Aye.
Mr. Stump?
Aye.
Mr. Bruning?
Aye.
Mr. Montroy?
Aye.
Mr. Pryor?
Aye, motion carries. 8F, approval of proposed settlement for the new Teamsters contract. It's pretty straightforward. Does anybody have any questions? Okay. Do I have a motion?
Make the motion that we approve the proposed settlement for the new Teamsters contract.
Support.
Any further discussion?
I have a friendly amendment.
Sure.
Effective July 1st, 24 through June 30th, 2027.
I'm fine with that.
Thank you.
Okay. Any further discussion? Please take the roll, Ms. Hirschberger.
Mr. Gore?
Aye.
Mr. Bruning?
Aye.
Mr. Montroy?
Aye.
Mr. Stump?
Aye.
Ms. Janasek?
Aye.
Hirschberger votes aye. Mr. Pryor?
Aye, motion carries. 8G, appointment to the Housing Commission. We had Jacob Armitrout. He resigned. We had 2 applicants. One we discovered did not live in Bedford Township, so we had to eliminate that individual. Corey will be on the board as a resident. When I have a new deputy, which you all have been informed, that new deputy will go ahead and represent Bedford. So, because I sit on some other boards, so it's a good duty for that person to do that. Any questions? Okay.
When was Corey's last day?
March 21st.
Okay.
Any other questions? Anything I can answer? Okay. Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve Corey Welch to the Housing Commission, term ending 12/31/26.
Do I have a second? Support.
Question. Is this a partial term?
Yes, it'll run till 12/31/2026.
Okay.
Any other questions? Discussion? Please take the roll, Ms. Hirschberger.
Mr. Bruning?
Aye.
Mr. Montroy?
Aye.
Mr. Stump?
Aye.
Mr. Gore?
Aye.
Ms. Janasek?
Aye.
Hirschberger votes aye. Mr. Pryor?
I vote aye. Motion carries. Okay. Comments from the public? Comments limited to 2 minutes for each individual.
Lamar Frederick, 3254 Deer Creek Drive. I didn't want to come up ahead of time, but I've worked with a law firm for 14 years. We had a lot of pithy issues, but I've always found our relationship to be just excellent. And when I was on the board, we relied heavily upon their advice. So I heartily endorse your support of their wage increase, even though you came on April 1st. It's a fool. Yeah. Secondly, if you remember, the Compensation Commission suggested strongly that you put together a salary schedule for employees. If you look in the back of the Teamsters agreement, there's one right there. So I again strongly suggest that you put that together. You really have no idea what to pay people. You just throw them, well, I think that's what we ought to pay them. You should sit down and set yourself a salary schedule. So somebody coming through the door, you know what you're going to pay them and why. And as they progress through seniority, and if it's a merit program, fine. If it's just show up, at least you have a schedule and you understand what you're paying and why you're paying. Again, as a member of the commission, I again suggest you look at that and move forward with doing something about it. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comments. Any others?
Gail Kane, Temperance. Thank you, Mr. Potter. And I think maybe it would help if we had the farmer's market added, even though it's not a township entity, if we could put it on the township site under what people can do. And my donation of shopping bags for the veterans to use will be repeated this year again. I would like to know who invites the pastors. The last I knew, the veterans have fought for my religious rights. And I, like Todd, I believe. But I'm tired of everybody else's religion being shoved down my throat when I attend these meetings. I have checked with the ACLU. The board is the one that has to make the change. I am asking the board to consider changing prayer as it has been done here at the township to following a procedure somewhat like the county commissioners follow. This using our Jesus Christ for a political endeavor and using it for political leverage of hoping to get the congregations to vote for someone is sin. It is just a blatant, blasphemous sin. And so if this is what we're going to allow, then that means, since prayer is on the agenda, that I can have 5 minutes at the next meeting to read from anybody's Bible that I care to read from, because it has to be fair. So until I see every single religion represented at this podium, then it should not be favored towards one or the other. And we all know the angle. It's gone on for over 8 years this way. And there is more than just one faith. It's a belief. So that's my take on it. And I'm blessed to know Jesus Christ. Thank you.
For your comments?
Logan Tisdale, 1308 Brandywine Street. I've never used my religion as a political pawn for anything. I came up here and I expressed my heart. I wanted to have a foundation for my prayer, and that's why he told that story. If that offends anybody, well, that's the way it is. Christianity is offensive, unfortunately, but it was never used for political reasons here. I don't come here and say, well, you need to vote this way or vote that way. You have to vote according to what God puts on your heart to do that. This country still believes in God. We have it on our money. In God we trust. And if that's offensive, I can't help that. And like I said, when I come up here, my agenda is this: to glorify the Lord Jesus Christ, to speak about God, and that's my political right to do that under the Constitution of the United States. And I don't try to make it offensive. I try to make it hopefully hopeful for people, that people can walk away here and have some kind of hope, because that's all we have in this life is some hope. And that hope, I believe, is in the Lord Jesus Christ. People can believe what they want. That's why we have freedom of religion. And like I said, I've never used it as a political pawn. I've run for sheriff. I run for trustee here. And I've never allowed my belief system to interfere with politics. And I won't do that. You have to make your own decisions in life. And I hope the decision is to accept Jesus Christ as Lord. That's the reason why I'm here. That's why I'm an ordained pastor. That's why I'm a Christian. And I'm going to be a light and salt in the darkness whenever time God gives me the opportunity to. And so that's the reason why I come here. So that's my prayer. That's my hope for this community. And that's the way I see it. So thank you so much for allowing me to do that.
Thank you for your comments. Any others? Mr. Stump?
Can you come back to me in a second?
Time's up.
No, you left it.
Todd, go ahead. We'll come back to you.
Nothing. Everyone have a good night, good weekend. I don't think anything's going on. Other than that, nothing.
Mr. Core?
I hope everybody had a great spring break. My family and I traveled to Washington, D.C., and I just have to give a shout out to our Congressman, Tim Walberg. I reached out to his office, and his staff was more than welcoming. Matthew from his staff reached out. He got us set up with White House tour, a staff tour of the Capitol building, and a nice tour of the Library of Congress. So I can't say enough about Congressman Walberg and his staff and how we were treated when we got to D.C. by them. If anybody is planning on going to D.C., Definitely reach out to the congressman and see if they can set you up with a tour of likes. Especially if you want the White House, you have to go through your congressman and also the Capitol building to get a good tour, not the public tour, but a staff tour. It was fantastic. So thank you to Matthew at Mr. Wahlberg's office. That was great.
Did you get to meet the VP?
No, wasn't there.
Mr. Montry.
Nothing for me.
Ms. Janusek.
Just everybody have a great night and a wonderful weekend.
Ms. Hirschberger. Mr. Stump, have you had enough time? You good?
Yeah, I'm good. April Fools. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
No,
Time's
I'm
up.
good. Yeah. Next meeting's fine.
Okay. A couple things, Todd, not to ignore your comment in the beginning, okay? But to remind that this board, anybody on this board can bring up an agenda item. So in terms of if you want to bring that up and we fully discuss prayer, whether you all want to do it, not do it, time limits and so on, that's at the discretion of the board. So, anybody can bring up what they want in terms of an agenda item. So I don't want you to think you were being ignored in terms of that. So,
I just wanted a prayer, just get right, we normally it's a prayer.
Right.
Instead, Gisdale gets up and starts telling a whole freaking story.
So.
It's ridiculous and it's uncalled for. So he had his whole private time, that's why I said every single other person here should be offered the same amount of opportunity as he did. And also, I'm an ordained minister also. It's not that big of a deal, Logan.
So, good. Any other thoughts? Okay. I want to give a shout out to Curtis Lewis, Damon Cecil, okay, and James Easton. Curtis Lewis, Krista's cousin, and he's on the sheriff's department. They discovered one of the most horrific sights in this township has ever seen of an 85-year-old person living in squalor on Whiteford Road, okay, which living amongst feces, falling in house. It was a house of horrors, and nobody knew about it until Officer Lewis got a call somehow because he was walking down to the gas station down there at Circle K because he'd buy a hot dog for him and his dog, and went to the house, and it was unbelievable. And this gentleman went ahead. He actually jumped a box for electricity, and he was actually getting his water from the fire hydrant. He rigged it. So I think he had a maintenance background. But he has no family, and like I said, so those three went to work in terms of calling the health department, calling Troy, getting people involved until last Friday they actually had a court hearing, and they got a guardian for this gentleman to get him in, cleaned up, find him housing, and take care of him. So a shout out when, if you're quick to criticize sheriffs sometimes or the ordinance officers, you better look at the other side of some of the things they encounter that are not criminal, but it's humanistic. So my hats are off to them. In terms, we're also to consumers, be cautious of the weather report. Consumers is on it. They're in communication with us, letting us know what's going on. If we need meetings, whatever, Consumers is very responsive, our government person that they're doing. Another good thing that we got going out for all you pickleballers, the bid is out for pickleball courts. So if you know people, tell them to go to the website, go bid. Everybody's been wanting pickleball courts. So those are out there. So got to get your bid in by, I think I had it on there May 2nd, I think it was. Yeah, so give us enough time to get it going. So other than that, have a great rest of your week. Motion to adjourn?
Yes.
To adjourn.